I just wish everybody knew John like I knew John. John is such a warm, loving person. Everybody that comes across John have a special bond with him.
I learned that he had been raised in a high crime, poverty area of New York. His mother passed away in 2010 from bone cancer. I think that her death was extremely challenging and hard for him. They were very close, and he described himself as a mama's boy. I learned from his aunt, and Mr. Quiles confirmed that his dad was largely absent from his life, and when he was present, he was a negative influence. I believe Mr. Quiles referred to him as a schemester. He told me that he began using marijuana, it was at age 11, and had used alcohol regularly since age 13 or 14. He did suggest that the alcohol abuse was encouraged by his family, that it was normative in his family to be drinking a lot. He withdrew from the 7th grade following the birth of his first child. And that was the highest grade he attained. So he completed the 6th grade. He obtained a full-scale IQ of 90, which falls in the average range. So his results are consistent with an antisocial personality disorder. Antisocial personality disorder is a condition in which one's personality characteristics or traits are often maladaptive or unhealthy and impair functioning in a certain way. In this particular personality disorder, the antisocial, it's typically violating the rights of others. It could include criminal behavior, but it doesn't always need to be criminal behavior. It could be manipulation. There could be some arrogance, some entitlement, deceitfulness, if I didn't say that already. But we often think about it going along with criminal behavior.
All right, the verdicts are legally sufficient. I'm going to give it to the clerk for publication. Mr. Quiles, please rise with your counsel.
In the Circuit Court of the 4th Judicial Circuit in and for Duval County, Florida, case number 16, 2019, CF 7518AXXXMA, Division CRI, State of Florida versus Johnathan Quiles Verdict, count 1. Leave the jury found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We find the defendant did actually possess and discharge a firearm during the commission of the offense. Verdict count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We find the defendant actually possessed and discharged a firearm during the commission of the offense. Verdict count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of engaging in an act that constitutes sexual battery upon or with a child 12 years of age or older, but younger than 18 years of age, by a person in a familial or custodial authority, as charged in the indictment. So say we all that in Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida, signed by the floor person, dated September 21st, 2023.
Life is still an option. There's something redeemable here. There's something here that you can latch onto and say life without the possibility of parole is what's appropriate in this circumstance.
What I find most sad about these cases, what's sad about these cases is the impact it has on people beyond this courtroom. Although it's the state of Florida versus Johnathan Quiles, this court has been filled with people beyond that. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, and even on the defense side, his brother, his aunts, his cousins. And then what goes unmentioned is his 5 children. And per my math, one of them was probably born a month after he was arrested. He's probably maybe 4 to 5 years old now. Although they have to live with this, they don't deserve that. It just shows you the impact of one decision impacts so many people beyond the criminal justice system. The last thing I want to add is the testimony came out during trial. The family found out early December the 3rd, and then the rest of the family found out December 6th regarding Iyana's pregnancy. She had an OB visit on December 13th. I recall the testimony coming out that the child, at that point, the pregnancy was 22 weeks and 5 days. And if you do the math, 6 days later, December 19th, she would have been 23 weeks and 4 days. That baby could feel love and comfort. Sadly, because of Mr. Quiles, he made sure it felt pain. But that baby was a real person. I find some comfort knowing that she was with her mother.
Iyana was full of life and wanted to do so many things. She wanted to be a pediatrician. I thought about being a lawyer. To my mom, she was going to be a lawyer because she could talk her way out of almost anything. She was thoughtful, caring, responsible, ambitious, articulate, a leader, a comedian, and so many other things. She was just a breath of fresh air. She was everything you could ask for in a daughter. Regardless of the picture that was painted, we were so close. She was my first love. I would never hear her say, "I love you," or hear her say, "I got some tea." I would never receive another FaceTime from her while I'm at work. I would never hear my granddaughter's first cries in a delivery room. I would never get to hold my granddaughter or get her in the middle. Or get her in the middle of the night like my mom did with Iyana. I would never get to see her as a mother. She was so happy when I told her I was taking maternity leave. When the baby was born, these things was taken from us just as she was. She wasn't in an accident. She didn't fall ill. She was murdered. Even saying the words don't feel right coming out of my mouth. I would have never imagined this would happen, all because she was pregnant.
So, Mr. Quiles, you were found guilty by a jury of your peers on all 3 counts of the indictment, the only difference being that the jury found you guilty and made a finding of that you discharged the firearm. As to count 1, you're adjudicated guilty of that offense. You're sentenced to life in prison with a 20-year minimum mandatory as required by Florida law. You have 1,537 days credit. As to count 2, you're adjudicated guilty. You're sentenced to life in prison. You have 0 days credit. Count 2 is consecutive to count 1. Count 3, the sexual battery charge, you were adjudged guilty. You're sentenced to life in prison. Count with 0 days credit. Count 3 is consecutive to count 2. Count 3 does carry surcharges of $201, $151, and $151 as required by Florida statutes. I did sign the order designating him a sexual predator. It will be filed with the clerk's office today.
I will never get over this loss. I'm so thankful that justice was served. Until we meet again, I love you forever.